Hey everybody, Dee here from D is for Digital. Hope you're having a fabulous day and welcome to today's masterclass. Actually, we're about to start a series. So I've been doing loads of different topics on entrepreneurship, on being self-employed, on going online, being digital, all that sort of stuff. And I decided that I'm going to start doing some mini series, and we're going to start off our first series about becoming an influencer. So for the next 7 days, you're going to have 7 mini masterclasses on how to become a successful influencer. And even if you don't want to be an influencer, I think these are really useful for developing your own personal brand online. So whether you're already a business or you want to be in business, branding is obviously really important, and you need to have influence as a brand. So I have a lot of people who are talking to me saying they really do want to become an influencer, but I think there's a lot of lessons we can learn from the very successful influencers that will help us on many different levels. So we're starting off today with the 6 steps to becoming a successful influencer. So we're going to sort of take a big picture view, but then over the coming days, we're going to be looking at how brands choose the influencers that they want to work with, how you can pitch to a brand, how you can monetize your social media as an influencer, all the sorts of secret tips that really successful influencers have in their back pocket. So I'm going to be sharing over 7 videos how to become a fabulously successful influencer. So today we start big picture. So the 6 steps to becoming a successful influencer. And the first one is selecting your niche. So what do I mean by selecting your niche? So it's, what are you going to stand for and who's your customer? So a lot of the influencers out there, if we take apart the celebrities, because they have influence for a lot of different reasons, but if we look at a traditional influencer, often their niche is in something that they're passionate about. So it can be clothing, makeup, a particular sport. It can be around travel. It can be in a specific business area, making money. It can be lifestyle, lots of different things. So you need to know, what are you going to stand for? So what is your niche going to be? Certainly, my niche from an influencer perspective is helping people get online, whether they're individuals who are starting out and want to have a digital business, or they're businesses who want to use digital content. That's my niche. Yeah. So I am very clear on who I'm talking to, what kind of content I need to put out there, because if you don't know who your niche are, it's very hard to connect with them. So if you're using your Instagram just putting out content that is of interest to you, well, then you're not necessarily going to connect with an audience. You may connect with your friends and family for sure, but if you want to be an influencer, you need to know, who are my audience? What is my niche? What do I stand for? So that you can connect with them in a really meaningful, tangible way. So you'll probably know yourself. It may not even be. You see a lot of influencers in fashion for sure, business, travel, all the digital nomads, but you can also be an influencer in something that you're passionate about. It could be in relation to the environment, about organic products, veganism, religion, culture, politics, family, kids, being a mom. I mean, you can be an influencer in so many different niches, but I want you to be really clear. So if you're very clear at your niche at the outset, then everything else that I'm going to talk about becomes super easy to do. So 1, you're selecting your niche. 2, you have to, I think this makes sense, is go and make sure that your social media profiles are fabulous. So optimize your social media profiles. Now, you might decide that you're going to focus on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn or YouTube. It really doesn't matter. Maybe you're across multiple, but excuse me, sorry. Wherever you decide is your platform of choice, you want to make sure that your profile is optimized. And by optimized, I mean you have a great cover photo, you have a nice banner, that your description is really clear about what you do, that if you have contact details are up to date, maybe your website or a link to a blog, and that it looks good and organized. You don't want people to come to your profile and go, it's not clear who you are or what you do or what you stand for. That needs to be super, super clear, because as soon as we get people on our social media profiles, we want to hook them in, so they start going through your feed and realizing how fabulous you are, so that they follow you or add you as a friend, whatever the case may be. So you want to spend a little time optimizing your social media profiles so that it attracts the audience or the niche that you are talking to, right? And the next step is about that is you need to understand your audience. Now, one of the, I think, most critical things that I learned when I got into the whole social media game was I would spend a lot of time creating what I thought was the right content for my audience. But actually, I had it back to front rather than thinking, what do I think my audience want to hear from me? I turned it around and went, well, what do I think my audience would want to hear today? Think from the customer side rather than necessarily from my side. And you need to understand your audience in order to become a successful influencer. You need to understand what people's hopes and dreams are, what they're fearful of, what their challenges are, what they love, what makes them angry, how their normal day is, what bothers them, what are the things that they like and dislike. The more you understand your audience, the easier it will be for you to create content that they love. Now, even if you look at the influencers that you might follow, you follow them for a very specific reason. Either they are people that you aspire to be like, or they're selling products that you're interested in, or they're putting content out there that resonates with you, that you kind of feel, and maybe it just makes you feel good, or it makes you inspired, or it makes you think. It could be lots of different reasons. But you need to understand your audience so that you know that you're putting out content that engages them. You can have loads of likes and followers, but if people aren't really engaging with your content and commenting on it, then it's hard to be a really successful influencer. We can all have loads of people viewing our content, but if no one's talking about it or commenting on it, then you don't have high engagement. And in order to have high engagement, you need to understand your audience. So it's all about, like, I know my customers inside out. I know the kind of personalities they have. I know what annoys them. I know what motivates them. I know what their aspirations are. I know what their challenges are in a day-to-day basis. I know where they like to spend their free time. I know what age they are, whether they have kids or not. So, and that's taken me time. I didn't know that all when I started. It's taken a lot of time and effort for me to get to know my audience really well. So much so that we feel like friends, because that's part of my brand. I can't be friend with someone that I don't know, and I need to put in an effort to make sure that I know my customers really well, so that when I'm putting content out there, they're going, yeah, that's totally that's Dee's content. Yeah, it makes sense for them, and they'll happily engage with it. So understanding your audience is key, and that's why your niche is first. You need to know who you are and what you stand for and who you're talking to, and from there, obviously, make sure your social media profile is fabulous, but understand your audience. Because when you understand your audience, the content you create becomes really, really easy because you know what they want. Which is next, create and post relevant content. And relevancy is everything. If you know your audience, you will create and post relevant content, because there's no point in having an audience who are interested in, let's say, for example, beauty and fashion, but then you're posting about business and entrepreneurship, because they might go, that's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm interested in. That's not what you promised me. You need to post content that is relevant to what your audience wants from you, and obviously, hopefully, what you're also passionate about too. And the next one is being regular and consistent. And I think this is the hardest thing for new influencers, is being regular and consistent in posting content. Because there may be content for a couple of days a week, and then there's silence because you get busy or there's other things happening. But to become a really successful influencer, you need to build trust with your audience. And you build trust with your audience by posting constantly. They always know there's something there from you. There's something new to look at, that you're interesting, that you're committed to the platform and committed to them. So posting all the time is a way to show your audience that you care about the information that you're giving them, that you care about the content that you're offering, and that you care that they have something of interest to see on your profile all the time. And that's why consistency is really important. And last of the number 6 is engaging with your wonderful audience. So when people take the time to come to your profile and follow you and look at your posts, if somebody likes something, I go and thank them for the like. If somebody comments on my post, I comment back and say thank you, or I ask a question. And then I'll go to their profile and I'll comment on theirs. So it's about engaging in conversation. I think sometimes we presume that online normal rules don't apply. Like when we meet someone new in our real lives, in our offline lives, we shake hands, or at least we did before COVID-19. We ask their names. We want to find out a little bit more about them. We might sit and have a coffee, or, there's a natural back and forth of getting to know somebody before we can sort of decide, do we like them and trust them. And online is exactly the same. That doesn't change. So when someone gives you that follow, that initial follow, which is showing you interest, your reaction should be, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Thanks for the follow. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's going on with you? Ask questions so that a conversation happens online. And what happens is that makes people feel important. It makes them feel seen, which is really hard online. Sometimes we feel invisible with the influencers that we follow. Like you'd never get a comment or a like from them, but you're doing all the likes. That's a very one-way relationship. Influencers have great two-way relationships with their followers because they feel seen. And they feel valued and important. So making sure that you allocate time not just to design the content that you're going to put out there that's relevant and you're doing it consistently, but you're also watching the comments and interacting with your customers and going on their profiles and being active in general, showing that you're there not just to receive all the adulation and attention, but that it's important for you to give value back and engage meaningfully with your audience. And those are the 6 very simple steps. Like, it's not difficult. I think the challenge is creating a routine of this, particularly if you're new to social media or new to posting regularly. I think the feedback I get most from people who are starting out in the whole influencer realm is, oh my God, how am I going to create all this content? Or I'm going to run out of things to say, or, it's too time consuming, when actually it doesn't have to be. When you're engaging with your audience, they'll tell you what they want you to talk about. And I will often create posts and videos based on a little exchange that I've had with someone that day who's asked me a question, and then you'll see my next video will be on that question or on that conversation. You can allow your audience to tell you what they need, which makes the whole piece of content creation really easy. And then it's relevant because your customers have told you or asked you a question about it. So when you pay attention to your followers, if you're on Instagram, or your friends or whatever, fans on Facebook, listen to the questions that they're asking, listen to the conversations that they're having between each other, go into groups that they're already participating on, and allow them to influence and inspire your content. And that way you can make sure that you're really relevant, that you're resonating with them. And then as you engage more, they'll give you more fodder for your content, and it becomes this beautiful circle that makes things easy. And you don't have to be worrying about, what am I going to post today? Oh my God, I have no ideas. You just go straight to your customers, have a little chat with them. Well, what's going on to you? That's what's going on with you today. What's your biggest problem right now? What would you like me to post about? And they'll tell you, and they'll probably give you more than one idea. And that's how you keep it easy. So there's no need to get overwhelmed. Every successful influencer started with 0 fans, and they also started out not knowing what to post or what to do. You just need to get out there. Be clear on your idea. Be clear on what you stand for. Get clear on your niche. Spend time getting to know your audience, and the rest falls into place. And that's it. Nice and simple. But tune in tomorrow. We're going to continue with our influencer series. And if you have any questions, and I've got a role model, if there's anything you'd like me to cover around becoming an influencer, if there's any questions, videos, feedback, whatever, I'm here to serve you. So drop some comments in. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover in the video series, and I will see you on tomorrow's masterclass.